Say bye.
Friends and family, welcome to another episode of Tea. And today is about almost a year since I've been at this same spot talking about waiting on a due season. Today I'm back talking about the due season. Now, the due season is easily interpreted as the season where everything is ripe and fit and ready. We normally look to that season because it's a season of abundance, prosperity, season of rejoicing, happiness, breakthrough, the works. It's a season that we look forward to. And if that season could last forever, there wouldn't be any complaints. Well, there shouldn't be any complaint. Read the scriptures on the screen and get the picture. And guess what? Guess what? Did you know that the beginning of a season marks the end of that season? Yes. For example, Aki. When Aki comes into season, it doesn't last forever. And even if you don't reap, the season will still end. God would have it that way for a reason. I mean, it helps us if we know that the season will end, we will take advantage of the season when it comes in. And it also helps us to pay attention to the next season that I want to talk about. Yep. The Bible put it this way. The Bible says, in everything there's a season, and there's a season to plant and a season to pluck up that which was planted. That's a time to sow and a time to reap, basically. Now, there are some times when we will pay attention to the reaping season, but we pay no attention to the season where we have to sow, where we have to start. And if somebody didn't, then we wouldn't be able to reap. Now, the season that is due for planting is very important, because if we want to reap at all, we need to plant. We need to start something. If you want to be a businessman, you have to start a business. If you want to fly a plane, you have to go to school, get the education that helps you to do that. Everything that you need, there's a season that you have to go through to start, to put into play that which will lead to what you want to reap. This is the season we're talking about today. The principle is very simple. You plant something, you reap something. You plant nothing, you reap nothing. Because let's say you want to go into the business where you send ackee in tin to foreign, and you have never planted an ackee tree, you don't know anybody who plants ackee tree. Your business will not get to anywhere because the preparations have not been made. Somebody have to plant the tree, take care of it, make sure that it gets to maturity where it starts to bear fruit. When it bears fruit, somebody have to pick the fruit. Somebody have to distribute the fruit to where it needs to go to the factory. And there are different steps. All those steps have to be done in its rightful season, because you cannot reap before you sow. And if you look for that, it makes no sense, right? So you have to acknowledge the season when it's time to sow, when it's time to take care of the fruit, water it, weed it out. That's a season. There's a season where you have to reap the fruit, because if you don't reap it, it's going to drop off and it will be wasted. If you reap the fruit too early, especially with ackee, you know it can be poisonous. That is why there's a season for reaping as well. So we have to acknowledge these seasons in life where we do what is necessary in order to reap a bountiful reward. I love how God put it that the two of them complement each other, the reaping season and the planting season. The season to start and the season that ends. It can't happen without one another. Perfect duo. Yeah? And you remember how I spoke about reaping the ackee too early? You can actually start a thing too early as well. That's why we need guidance. I remember one time we planted a sorrel tree in our yard way before the season due for planting sorrel. And that thing, it grew green and pretty. It blossomed, but it never bear fruit until the season due for that to happen, around November, December, somewhere there. I can remember all the time before that, it was just there, not doing what it was naturally supposed to do because we didn't acknowledge the due season for planting. We went way too early, end up having to wait longer than we needed to. So we have to watch out for that. That is why the season due for starting a thing is necessary. You can't just do a bomb and do it and start a thing because you want to start it. There's a season for starting certain things in life. And I'm not only talking about farming and grown products. No. In our everyday life, there's a season to start. Like the season to give your life to God is now, right now. The season to stop believing the enemy lie is right now, this very moment. Yeah. The season to buy a car might not be right now. Maybe you need to start your house first. For some persons, it is better for them to get the car because the car will help them get the house. You get me? Because it's a working car, not a sporting car. Yeah. Whatever season we want in our life, where the reaping is concerned, we need to acknowledge the season due to start something that will get to that place in life. And we will be successful in reaping if we faint not. If we faint not, then our season of hope will come. Yeah. In everything there's a season. The Bible backs that up. So regardless of what we want in life, we have to acknowledge the season that is due for starting that thing. If you want life and life more abundantly, start serving God. Start obeying Him more. Start listening to Him more. This is both for persons who are not yet saved and persons who are already saved. Because sometimes us Christians, God give us something to do and we take a while to do it. And have this ever happened to you? God says do something, you don't do it. And then you see somebody else doing that same thing because you didn't start to do it in the time that God says you're supposed to do it. Why? Because when God says to do that thing, it was the season due for it to be done. If you choose not to do it, you will find somebody else to do it. Because even God acknowledges the season due. So what about me and you? We have to do the same thing. Acknowledge the season. We can't want to see faith working in our life, but we don't want to put work into faith. If faith without work is dead. We can't want to go to heaven, but we don't want to serve God. We can't want forgiveness, but we don't want to forgive. We can't want others to love and respect us, but we don't want to love and respect others. And the thing about us is we know what we want in life. We all know what we want in life. But some of the times we don't know where to start. Ask somebody who has experience in the thing that you want to start in. Search out the scriptures when it comes on to spiritual life. What is it that you have to do in order to become more patient, become more kind, become more loving, more compassionate? What is it that you have to do? All your guide is in the Word. And I love talking about the Word. All your guide is in the Word. So yes, pay attention to that. Pay attention to the season due to start a thing, because that is what you need in order to get to the season that is due for reaping. And until we meet again, friends and family, walk saved, stay saved, and if you're not saved, get saved, man. Jesus love you. Say bye.